Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pat Flynn Show. A question came in. Somebody wants to know what I would recommend they get for a minimalist home gym setup with about $100 in Amazon gift cards. I thought this was a cool question. So even if you already belong to a gym, maybe you want to get the biggest bang for your buck in terms of workout equipment at home. So that's what this episode is going to be about. I'm going to try with around $100 of budget to make some recommendations for a minimalist home gym setup. So I think this should be fun. Thanks for being here. Hey, real quick before we begin, let me give a deserved shout out to the sponsor of this show. Let me pick this giant jug of protein up. This is from Legion Athletics. So I want you to grab some of their delicious protein. If you're on YouTube, look at the size of this. You won't even need to lift if you get this protein. You just pick up the jug and you're going to just be diabolically huge. Quick embarrassing admission. Before this episode, I actually spilled a whole bunch of this protein on my carpet down here because my kids use it to make smoothies in the morning and they forgot to tighten the cap. So joke was on me this morning, I guess. But anyways, it's a really great protein, grass-fed, minimalist, everything I recommend and look for in a protein powder. Plus, it helps support the show. So if you need a refill of some delicious protein, please consider going to buylegion.com/Pat. That's buylegion.com/Pat and stock up, because if you use the coupon code PAT20 at checkout, you get 20% off your entire order. So please, if you get value out of the show and you need some quality protein, buylegion.com/Pat, PAT20 at checkout, 20% off. It's a win-win. So thank you. I do appreciate it, honestly. Okay, so let's talk about a minimalist home gym. So let's set the stage. Minimalist. What are we thinking about here? Well, we're thinking about efficiency. We're thinking about effectiveness, and I'm going to assume that you want general physical preparedness. You want to take a both and approach to fitness. You want to be strong. You want to have a healthy body composition, but you also want to focus on mobility and conditioning and flexibility. You want the both and approach to fitness. You don't want to be a hardcore specialist. You don't have a desire to be a professional bodybuilder or powerlifter. You just want to be fit. You want to be generally fit. You want to be ready for and capable of almost everything. That is essentially the Strong On brand. That's what I teach. That's what I've been teaching for a while. Minimalism and generalism, where generalism is what we are, that's our goal, that's what we are striving toward, and minimalism is the approach. So the reason I point that out is we need to have the right expectations, and any type of goal, any type of fitness approach is always going to have a set of necessary compromises and or trade-offs. We can't do all things all the time, and we can't have, a minimalist home gym setup and think we're going to be accomplishing absolutely everything. So just have the right expectations coming into this. Okay, so what would I recommend? Well, first, we need some instruction, right? There's no point in having a minimalist home gym and having equipment unless we know how to use the equipment, how to use the tool. And here we're talking in terms of exercise technique. And obviously I'm going to recommend a kettlebell. Is anybody surprised by that? So kettlebell technique, but also how to implement the tools, right? How to program to maximize general physical preparedness given the equipment we have. So here is where I can unabashedly recommend my $1 ebook, Introduction to Kettlebells, on Amazon. So this is, obviously I'm a little biased, but it's a $1, so totally fits within the budget, ebook that covers all the basic fundamental kettlebell techniques. We have written descriptions, pictures, and links to videos, many videos that you'll find on this YouTube channel. It's a nice compendium to help you understand the core fundamental kettlebell exercises, how to perform them. And it also has workouts and programming. So you learn the techniques and you learn how to put the exercises together. And it has an awesome starting basic generalist strength and conditioning program with kettlebells in it. So that's your roadmap. Obviously, there's many other good books if you want to extend your budget a little bit. I've got my entire For Dummies series, Paleo Workouts, Fast Diets, Dan John's books, Pavel's books, lots of great books. But you want some type of blueprint. And I'm gonna recommend my $1 kettlebell ebook, Introduction to Kettlebells. It's been doing really well. It's been sitting at like the top of the short reads charts. It was number 1 in the overall fitness category for about a month. People seem to really enjoy it. $1. I'll link all this stuff in the show notes, by the way, if you want access. Okay, secondly, I'm going to recommend a kettlebell. Why? Well, one, it's compact, it's versatile, and it's minimalist. We can use a kettlebell for strength. We can use a kettlebell for metabolic conditioning. Its compact nature allows us to transition between exercises very seamlessly, so we can tax multiple muscle groups and energy systems simultaneously. I think the killer application of the kettlebell is metabolic conditioning. But I often call it the Swiss Army knife of functional fitness. It can do a lot of things really well, even if it isn't the best in the world at any one thing. So is a kettlebell going to beat a barbell in terms of lower body strength, like deadlifting? No, it's not. But you can get a ton of utility from a kettlebell in terms of strength, conditioning, mobility, flexibility, even building muscle. It can be done. So what would I recommend? Well, Amazon is pretty good now. You can find a lot of decent quality kettlebells at a reasonable price. And then you can, those poor UPS FedEx drivers with Amazon Prime, now they have to carry this kettlebell to your doorstep. It's kind of cruel, but hey, it is what it is. So I was looking through Amazon, and like I said, there's a lot of decent brands there at a decent price. I found one, Rep Kettlebells. A lot of people in the Strong On community use Rep. I have no affiliation whatsoever with them. It's not like Legion Athletics. They're not a sponsor of the show, so I'm just recommending it. And look, even if they were a sponsor, I would only recommend it because I think it's a good product. But I'm just saying I have no official allegiance to them. They just come recommended by a lot of people who are part of Strong On. They have the sort of quality dimensions. The handle's the right size, the bell's the right size, and you can get a 16-kilogram kettlebell for around $79, it looks like, and sometimes they're on sale. So this is going to be the most expensive part of the minimalist home gym setup, and 16 kilogram is a decent entry point for most average size men. And for the ladies, something like an 8 kilogram, which will be even cheaper. So I'm giving the higher recommendation in terms of cost, just to again, set the right expectations. But if you want to start with a 12 kilogram or an 8 kilogram, that's fine. But a standard recommendation for most men, 16 kilogram, starting out for most women, around 8 kilogram. And that's going to cover a lot of bases. You can get a lot of mileage out of it, even relatively light kettlebell. We'll do Turkish get-ups, one-arm swings, two-arm swings, goblet squats, single-arm squats, overhead presses, windmills, snatches, of course, cleans, single leg work. It's kettlebell arm bars. There's just all kinds of, we can use that kettlebell for so many useful and different things. So that's obviously at the top of my recommendation list. Okay, but that also takes away a big chunk of our budget, but that's okay. We're going to try and put 2 more things in here. So we have the instruction manual, how to use the tool, how to implement it, how to make sure we're getting the most out of it, the tool itself, the kettlebell. Now, what are some auxiliary tools or items that might be useful? 2 more for you. One is a pull-up bar. And the door frame mounted pull-up bars are pretty decent, and this is what I would recommend. So this is the limitation of the kettlebell is it's hard to do, you can't really do any vertical pulling with it. You can do horizontal, you can do rows, but there's a limitation with vertical pulls. For that, we really want something to hang from. So if you can already do pull-ups, obviously this will be useful for that. Pull-ups, chin-ups, but also flexed arm hangs, hanging in general for mobility, isometrics, hanging knee raises, hanging leg raises. This is a wonderful complement to a kettlebell in a minimalist home gym. I found one on Amazon. I'll link it below. That's around $20. That's got decent reviews. I've had multiple door frame pull-up bars throughout the years of different brands. They've all held up pretty well. I've never had any major problems. And I've never had any problems with my doors getting too messed up either. I know some people are a little hesitant, but it's never ruined my house, so far as I can tell. But if you have more budget, I guess you could get a freestanding one if you really wanted to. But then we're taking up more space, and we want to be as minimalist as possible. And I think the door frame mounted pull-up bars work just fine. Okay, one more recommendation. What's it going to be to the final gizmo? I'm going to recommend an ab wheel. There's many ab wheels on Amazon. I found one. I'll link it below. That's only $12. It's very high quality. It's super durable. And the ab wheel is fantastic. It's one of the biggest bang for your buck. It is a somewhat specialized gizmo. There is not a whole lot of things we can do with it. But in terms of direct core work, it is awesome. Even if you never do full standing rollouts, even if you just do partial rollouts or rollouts from the knees, the amount of neuromuscular facilitation, the sheer usefulness of the ab wheel for just giving you a harder, stronger, more stable midsection it's really hard to beat. So I highly recommend getting the ab wheel. It's in terms of bang for your buck ab exercises, ab wheels, hanging leg raises, some rotational stuff, like windmills. You're going to pretty much have virtually all of your bases covered at that point. Okay, so if we add, and then how do you put it all together? Well, that's what the $1 ebook is for, and of course, future episodes of this program, of this podcast, will give some more minimalist programming ideas as well. But let's just get you started with the equipment. So if we add everything up, we have the $1 ebook, we have the $80-ish kettlebell, we have the $20-ish pull-up bar, and we have the $12-ish ab wheel. So we're a little over budget. I think by my calculations, that's around $113, but pretty good. $113, it's going to cover pretty much all of our general basic fitness needs that with a smart approach, we can really get in pretty fantastic shape with just these few pieces of equipment and a roadmap of how to effectively use them. So I think that's a pretty good deal, right? And they're going to last a long time. The kettlebell is going to be virtually indestructible. In terms of future investment, you'll probably just want to add more kettlebells and or heavier kettlebells. But again, you don't need to do that right away. I think you'll be surprised again with a quality programming approach. I think you'll be surprised of how much mileage you can get out of even just one relatively not incredibly heavy kettlebell. So, cool. Yeah, that's about it. Again, I'll link all that in the show notes if you want easy access. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy these Q&A episodes. If you have any questions or things you want me to talk about in future episodes, comment on YouTube or shoot me an email if you're listening on iTunes. Always happy to help however I can. And if you get value out of the podcast, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And consider taking 2 minutes to leave a very nice, overly fawning, gooey, gushy review on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. It really helps continue to push the show up in the rankings and bring new people in. So, if you haven't reviewed the show, please consider doing that. Otherwise, adios. We'll talk to you soon.